Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And James Golden has a well-deserved day off for the holidays. Dominic Carter filling in. My absolute honor to be here with you. We see your phone calls in the queue already. The number to reach us live this hour. Let's talk. 800-848-9222. I'm going to your calls in just 1 second. Just 1 second. I want to talk Hollywood for a second. And the owner of the Red Apple Audio Networks, John Catsimatidis. Folks, when you do Hollywood movies, everybody thinks that they can do them, but it's not so easy. And I'm not saying this because he's my big boss. I'm saying this because I got an opportunity to see his work last night at the screening, an exclusive screening of the Hollywood movie Marty Supreme, in which Mr. Catsimatidis plays the father of the lead character's best friend. So we show up for this thing last night, here in New York City. And shout out to the NYPD. They had it locked down. It was great security. The governor was there and other top dignitaries. State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, Mayor Eric Adams was slated to come through, and on and on and on. And so I didn't know what the movie was about. And I walk into the theater, right? And they had a ping pong table set up. I've never seen a ping pong table set up where people are playing ping pong in the lobby of a movie theater. And so then all the TV cameras were there for Mr. Catsimatidis. Also, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who's running for governor, was also there. And at the end of Mr. Catsimatidis' comment to all the television cameras, he had a pink what do you call it? Not pinball. What do you call it, Jonas? When you, what is it? Pinball is not pinball. It's
ping pong.
Ping pong. That's the term I'm looking for. So he had a ball and this pink ball and he threw it out towards the cameras. And I didn't know what was going on. Ping pong, right? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we get inside and, without going to the plot, it's a great movie. Seriously, folks, a good movie to go see. And Mr. Catsimatidis did his thing. He's in 2 scenes. And folks, trust me, I know all of you listening right now, everybody thinks they can do a Hollywood movie, but it's not as easy as it looks. Now, here's the part that I will admit, right? So I've done 3 or 4, right? I still think that I'm better than Denzel Washington. I really do. But of course, I'll never get that. What are you laughing at, Jonas? What are you laughing at? I'll never get that opportunity. He ain't better looking than me. He's just, my wife says that she does the same thing. She starts laughing because I tell her too that I'm better. She just laughs and looks down the same way you just did. But anyway, so what's great when you do a couple of Hollywood movies, you get residual checks for years. So 3 or 4 times a year, out of the clear blue sky, I'll get a check for a couple of $100 and it'll say this. So like I did Chris Rock's TV show on HBO as a guest on his show. When he had a show, he would interview a guest a week. And so I'm still getting residual checks from doing Chris Rock's show. And, one of the movies I was in, I did a couple with Spike Lee, but, Pride and Glory. And it'll list the movie and it'll say what you're being paid for. And so, the reason why I say it's not easy to do a Hollywood movie because everybody thinks they can do it. Everybody thinks it's so easy. You try being on a set and you hear makeup, You know, and all these people, there's 100 people. I don't know how they do these lovemaking scenes. I've heard about them, but there's like 100 to 150 people right around you, you know, for this one scene. And so, Mr. Catsimatidis, congratulations. I'm telling you folks, the movie is good. Hollywood movie titled Marty Supreme. And one of the characters, the owner of this network, John Catsimatidis, who did his thing. Okay. Debbie, in New Jersey couldn't hold on from last hour, but look at this. We have a different Debbie. So let's go to line 1, Debbie in New Jersey. What's on your mind, Debbie?
I just wanted to mention that Mayor Stayeg is a practicing Catholic. It came up during the last election when he was running. So he had gone to, in addition to that, he graduated from DePaul High School, which is a Catholic high school, and Seton Hall University, which is also a Catholic university. So it seems to be very unusual that he would make this kind of statement. I don't doubt that he did, because obviously you would not report something like that unless it was true. But I find it very disconcerting that he would, unless he's changed his allegiance to whichever faith he decides to belong to. And that's my main Debbie, comment.
I'm not against Islam or Muslims. More power to you. But the last time I checked, this is America. Am I wrong in that point of view?
No, I agree. And what's interesting is his major was history at Seton Hall University. And it's so he, of all people, should understand that the United States of America is not a Muslim country.
Right. Well, Debbie, Debbie, are you doing anything good for Christmas tomorrow? Debbie still there? No, she got cut off. Debbie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I hear you now. You doing anything good for Christmas tomorrow?
Yes, I'm spending time with my children, which I'm very happy for.
All right, that's fantastic.
Was a Vietnam veteran, so I'm very much into the United States. So
fantastic. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you for the call. You know, folks, I was just going to a call in Utah where the person is driving. When sometimes when you hang up the phone, folks, this driver was next in the queue. I was just going to this driver in Utah on the topic of mental illness, and the caller just hung up. I'm going to go to Sandra in New Jersey, but first let me go to Jeff, line 5, Long Island. What's on your mind, Jeff? Dominic Carter here, and for James Golden. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Dominic, I appreciate you taking my call. It's an honor to speak to you. 3 decades ago, I remember watching you on New York One, and I was always fascinated by you. And I just heard your story. You know, I didn't know all that stuff, and I appreciate you sharing that with all the listeners.
No, you know why I share the embarrassing details? Because I remember, Jeff, and I'm going to give you your say. When I was a little boy, all the awful things that have happened in my life, there was no book, no blueprint for how to handle this stuff. And I swore that if I was ever in a position to make sure that another child had to go through the things I've gone through, you know, I'm in my 60s. So hopefully I'll live to be an old man. But when I'm gone, I want children in similar situations to know they're not the first ones to go through this, and that if I made it through it, they can too. So that's why I share the embarrassing details of my life.
I really appreciate it. And you have adults that are listening too that are possibly treating their kids that way, and I think you're going to really help people, and you really do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So just to get into my quick story, I have many years of law enforcement and psychology, and, you know, not to try to impress you with details, because some of the most inept people I've ever met have 30 years experience in a field, so it really doesn't mean much, but I'm going to get right to it. I really feel like our criminal justice system is sort of like when your dog runs away. Do you know what the worst thing you could do when it comes back to your house?
I don't. Okay,
they say never hit a dog that ran away and came back to you, because it teaches them not to come home. So dogs run away and they'll go back to their owner's home, and they're literally in fear of approaching if you hit the dog. That is the way our criminal justice system is set up. And it's intertwined with homeless people that commit crimes and the criminal justice system because they're one and the same. I would argue that the majority of low-level offenders that are in prison or have been arrested are literally mentally ill. The question is what do we define as mentally ill is really the problem. The criminal justice system needs to really be revamped to just be looked at like it's there to help people that need help. Just like if your kid, if you had a 12-year-old son that broke your living room window, you wouldn't have him arrested. You'd get him psychiatric help. So our system is set up where we punish people that have psychiatric problems. It could be growing, and it starts out at a certain level and will attain higher and higher the more the system fails them until they make worse and worse crimes. So when they lock someone up and they say, this guy has been locked up for 35 times for these offenses, and they blame the judges for releasing them, there's no system in place to help that person, and there's no beds in place. So when everyone calls up and says, we need to help this homeless person, the problem is you have people committing violent crimes that they're releasing, let alone take someone off the streets and give them a bed. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear you, but my answer is, and I got to move on. I'm sorry, Jeff, because I want to get to Al, who's in Utah. My answer is still lock them up. I'm sorry. I hear you, though, and I hear your passionate approach, and I thank you for it. Let me go to Al in Utah on line 3. Al, go right ahead. Al, are you there? Okay, this is strike 3, Al. I'm sorry. You hung up the first time. I go to your call. You're not there. One more time. Al, are you there? Okay, Al is not there. Let's go to Pam in New Jersey, line 2. Pam, what's on your mind?
I am so glad that the mayor of Paterson, New Jersey, has decided to secede from the union, she said sarcastically, when he's so proud of his city. I give to an animal rescue place in the area, and do you know how many animals are abused living on the streets and people just pass by? My family grew up in Paterson when it was once a beautiful city. Now, Alexander Hamilton is rolling in his grave, and he does not have anything to be proud about in that town. That let me remind everybody, that's where the 9/11 jackers stayed.
Right. I hear you, Pam. Paterson's got a problem. If you've got a mayor that's standing up, this is America. This is not some Muslim city. I'm sorry. This is America. America first. Thank you for the call, Pam. When we come back, we're going to continue with your calls. Dominic Carter in for James Golden.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
My honor, Dominic Carter, to be filling in for my guy, James Golden, who has the day off. Happy holidays to James, and of course, to all of you, Merry Christmas. Let's continue with your telephone calls. Line 1, Manny in Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I just want to address, you were addressing before Judge Brown made some remarks regarding the Congresswoman out of Texas.
Yes, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah. What I'm concerned is, what I know is a lot of people are criticizing the way our Congress people look. I think you should disagree on policy, but the way they look, what they wear or don't wear, I don't know why that's a big issue.
Well, he disagreed with her on policy. He said she's an absolute phony. He said that this whole thing about being basically Keisha from the block, he disagreed on a number of fronts with her on policy. And then he tied in the other aspect. So he disagreed on policy.
All right, because I know you were talking about the weave, her hair, her eyelashes. I'm like, what's that have to do with it? Whatever she thinks or doesn't think? I just don't understand that.
But Manny, but I note with great interest that you haven't said anything about her policies. You're defending her based on, and that's okay, comments about how she looks or whatever. But what about her policies, man?
Well, believe it or not, I'm not that familiar with her policy. I know she's a Democrat. She's probably left to where I stand on a lot of stuff.
She's
but still,
left, and she's an absolute phony. So, but I hear you, and thank you so much for the call.
A lot of people in Congress are phonies too, one way or the other.
Yeah, but she's really, really dangerous. Really dangerous. And she's leading an entire generation of kids that look just like her, people that look just like her down the drain for her own political career. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Bill in Morristown. What's on your mind, Bill?
Big Dom, I just wanted, this time of the year, I want to thank you. I know you don't like to hear it a lot, but, my mother came from Italy at fascism. My father came from Soviet Union to communism. We used to watch you, as my mother always called, let's watch Dom on NY1, she would call it. So the torch was passed. I've got 2 boys in Germany now who listen to Dom on WABC. The streaming, and I have a daughter in the country of Colombia, and I want to thank you, Dom. You've done a wonderful thing and a beautiful thing for me personally, and bridging my family over the years. And I always tell you on Twitter, I say I love you, Big Dom, and I do. I just want to thank you and keep up the good work. Thank you for the gift you've given me.
Oh man, Bill, you're gonna make a brother cry, man.
Well,
you're gonna make a brother cry.
Well, I'm an Essex County boy. That's okay. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that, right? No, you've done a
Hey, man, I thank you.
Thank you.
No, well, I just want
to so many others. Yes, Tom.
You know what's funny, Bill? I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I have a job. All of these nice comments are wonderful. I look at it as I have a job to do. And my job, I went into journalism because when my grandmother was dying, they treated her like a piece of meat. And they wouldn't even send a doctor, you know what I mean, to brief me. It was a physician's assistant. And I swore that I was going to be a voice for the voiceless for the rest of my life. And that's how I look at what I do. But thank you, Bill. You're very, very kind, man. You just made my day. Folks, we're coming right back. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. More of your telephone calls.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Dominic Carter filling in for James Golden. James has the day off for the holidays. It's my absolute honor to be here with you. 800-848-9222. Going back to your telephone calls in just 1 second. As far as I'm concerned, if you see an ICE agent or ICE agents, say thank you. Say thank you for serving your country. ICE, as we speak, is here in New York. I want you to hear this. ICE rolled on an apparent illegal, happened to be female. Listen to the community involvement. This is why words matter. This is why, part of why Mamdani will be a disaster. Because Mamdani, with the bully pulpit of being mayor, says the city will not cooperate with ICE, blah, 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 blah. Listen to this carefully. They're placing a woman in custody, ICE, and listen to the community involvement around the agents right here in New York City.
What is this?
Okay.
What is,
Please.
No, I'm allowed to take a photo.
Yes, but take a step back.
What is your name? What is your name?
Take a step back.
Don't touch me.
Take a step back.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Hey, see your face. Can we see your face? See your face. Come on. What's your name? Well, okay, we got your name. Do you have a name so we can...
I'm kind of busy. Can you back away? Thank you.
Y'all detaining her? Man, who can I get home for you? Do you have a phone number? Shout out your phone number.
Take a step back.
Shout out your phone number. You have rights. Y'all detaining this woman? What's your phone number? Show us your face. Can't see your face.
Okay, back up. Back up. You guys need to back up from the vehicle. Back up from the vehicle.
Did you get her number?
Take all the photos you want. Back up from the vehicle.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
She literally used the F word to say Merry Christmas to the ICE agents. And that's what they have to deal with every day. Incredible. What is going on in America? Do you want to give the whole country away? You know, people, for the last 2 hours, we've been talking about not enough beds for the mentally ill and so on. They've been severely cut. Well, what do you think happened to the budget money? It went to the illegals. It went to the migrants. They would have come up with another excuse to not increase the beds. But all of our money has gone to the migrants. Look at Israel. Look at Minnesota and all the hate that exists against Israel. But you've got the Somali community. $9 billion in fraud. $9 billion. And you're concerned about the rights of the illegals? What is wrong with you? So then we go from that screwed up situation to the one in Florida. 65-year-old woman minding her business in Barnes & Noble, holiday shopping. Mentally ill, homeless man apparently stabs her in the back. She dies, screams out, "He stabbed me." He runs out the store and is arrested and charged with first-degree murder, as he should be. This is a report from one of the TV stations in the area in Florida.
Well, a horrific crime at a local bookstore just 2 days before Christmas.
A man is behind bars accused of murdering a woman inside the Barnes & Noble store on Legacy Avenue in Palm Beach Gardens.
You want to go to our CBS 12 News reporter Al Peffley. He joins us there from that scene.
According to the victim's husband, the woman was here at Barnes & Noble Monday night shopping for Christmas gifts. As she was looking at a magazine, a man came up to her and stabbed her.
For violence to occur somewhere like that, for someone to lose their life there, it's shocking.
The holiday season marred by tragedy. With Christmas fast approaching this week and people out shopping for gifts, a Barnes & Noble bookstore at Legacy Place in Palm Beach Gardens turned into chaos a few minutes before 8 Monday night when police say a man stabbed a woman and then ran out of the store.
Well, I think it's very distressing. I really do. I'm sorry to hear that. I feel a little upset, to say the least. I'm sorry that it occurred. It's a terrible thing.
Witnesses inside the Barnes & Noble store were able to provide a description of the attacker to police. 40-year-old Antonio Moore was found a short time later and is now charged with first-degree murder. Police have not provided a motive for the stabbing. The victim is identified as 65-year-old Rita Launcherich of Stewart. We went to her home seeking comment. Her husband spoke to us off camera. He said, according to police, Moore is a homeless person from Alabama who was mentally ill and had only been in Florida for about a week, and he was living in the woods. We're still working to confirm that with police. Her husband says moments after the attack, his wife called him on her cell phone, telling him she had just been stabbed. Police rushed to the Barnes & Noble and provided first aid, but Launcherich later died at a hospital. A Barnes & Noble spokesperson said they do not comment on ongoing police investigations. Moore is expected to make his first court appearance on the murder charge Wednesday morning. In Palm Beach Gardens, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
That's the world that we live in. You don't know when, where, how. You could be tying your shoe. You could be on the phone, which you better be very careful if you're looking down at your phone all the time. You could have headphones on. And it can happen at your peril if you're not paying attention. And they're allowed to roam the streets and they have protections from the advocates and the lawyers that will run into federal court at a New York minute to protect their rights to be on the streets terrorizing the rest of us. What about the rights of the broader society? I just don't know, folks. I just don't know. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Paul, line 2, Scarsdale. What's on your mind, Paul?
Yeah, on the topic of the mentally ill, it's so important to take a look also at how other countries treat the problem of the mental ill and homelessness. And I think one of the problems that we have in our society is that we have too much freedom. And in the case of the mentally ill, as you were saying earlier about the ACLU getting involved, that's a big part of the problem is that we give those with mental illness and homeless rights that prevent us from giving them the proper care, because nobody wants to be put away, nobody wants to be institutionalized, everybody wants their freedom. But these are the ramifications when you have too much freedom to people that can't handle freedom. And the case of the Barnes & Noble is a perfect example. This is probably an individual that absolutely should not have been on the street, and this is what the consequences are. So if you take a look at how this is handled in other countries, they have more control. They don't give someone unblocked freedoms if they don't deserve it and if they can't handle it. And this is a case where this individual probably, my guess would be, without knowing the details, he's probably been in and out of institutions much of his life, whether it's prison, mental illness facilities, and his freedom came first. And this is the problem. This is the ramification. This is what you get when someone has too much freedom that is not deserving of it.
Paul, all I can tell you is it sounds like you're dead on accurate, and I have to agree with you. And so maybe that's the key, that we've got to stop with all these freedoms. But how do you stop with all these freedoms when they have better lawyers than you or I do?
Yeah.
And they don't have to pay for their lawyers. You or I have to mortgage the house to afford a lawyer to represent us. They get free legal services.
Exactly. The system needs a fix. No doubt about it.
Paul, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Sandra, line 4, New Jersey. Sandra, what's on your mind?
It's an honor to have you for a second hour, Dominic, so you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I was thinking about Barnes & Nobles. That, in my mind, was a place that I perceived as so safe. And for that to happen, it's just showing all of us that our quality of life is being torn away. I just want to say, when you go to the Burlington stores, they have two big men there. When you walk in, they're there. And I think that's what we need. We need people now to be in front of these stores to keep an eye on who walks in, because we can't be having eyes on the back of us too. But aside from that, I wanted to say that I wanted to bring up Mandami and his lovely wife, who says that she does not want to be in the limelight at all. I know she didn't show up for the debate, and you and I questioned why. So I respect her for this, but I also wondered, Dominic, do you think this is strategic? I'll tell you why I say that. You often want what you can't have. So if she's not in the limelight, we're going to want her to be, and that might be very strategic. I don't know. Maybe we don't want a Jill Biden. Maybe we don't want a Hillary. So maybe this is a very clever approach. It was just something I was thinking about, Dominic.
I don't buy it at all. I think there's something in her past that hasn't come out yet, and they're trying to hide it.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong, but I've known all the first ladies in recent memory, going back. And I guess the one that was the most private was Joyce Dinkins. And I have to be honest with you folks. I feel bad for Mayor Dinkins. I know Crown Heights and so on his watch. I get it. And pogrom and so on, absolutely reprehensible. But Dinkins died at the height of COVID, and he did not receive the attention that a mayor of New York City should receive. And so his wife, Joyce Dinkins, very, very, very private, extremely private. She wanted nothing to do with the life of being a first lady, but it's kind of ridiculous if your husband is the mayor to think that you're going to have a private life. That's just not going to happen. The press is going to follow you. You have a police detail. You have a chief of staff. To think that you're going to have a private life, that is ridiculous. So Joyce Dinkins, for as shy and as private as she was, she would go every now and then and read to the school children, Sandra. And so, Donna Hanover, who was Rudy's wife at the time, played a large role in taking the hard edge off of Rudy when he was the U.S. attorney, and she recorded the commercial saying that Rudy's not the guy that you think. Many believe it got him elected. Bill de Blasio's wife was as much a politician as he was. And in fact, because I knew her, Shirlane McRae, before they were married. I didn't know they were dating, but I knew her well, and she was as much political as he was, but she took a back seat. Bloomberg didn't have a wife, but he had his girlfriend, and I guess she wasn't that much political. There's something about this lady that something is not right. It's something that my instincts never fail me. There's something about this lady that's wrong. I don't know what it is. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think that I am. Something is, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen bad marriages go to City Hall before. That's never stopped anybody. But I don't think that's it. I think that they're keeping something on the down low that's in her past that's anti-American and against Israel. That's what I really believe is the case. Sandra, thank you for the great call. Before I take a break, let's go to Alan in Hudson, New York, line 5. Alan, what's on your mind?
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you today? And I first wanted to wish you and your family that the Lord should bless you, because I listen to you a lot. I don't call up. This is the second time I call, but I really do appreciate, like some others said, what you're doing, because I believe in it 200%. And I would like to deliver in one or two sentences. I was speaking with a friend of mine at a major university. I don't want to disclose where, but you would know this place. And we weren't talking about Madami. I started screaming about that 10 years ago. But we were just talking about things in general. And he was telling me, and he's in a very high-profile position at this major university, that
Alan, I got to take a break in 15 seconds. You got to get to the point.
Okay, well, the students complained that the teachers were too hard on them because they were, and they got fired.
And they were fired. The educator got fired.
That's the two educators, and they weren't asking what you and I went to school for is what they were trying to, and the students, no, it's too hard. We're not, we don't want to exert ourselves.
Hey, Alan, I'm terribly late for a break, but I know that doesn't surprise you. It's not right, but it doesn't surprise you, does it?
No, but that's what I was. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful
my friend,
holiday.
I wish I had more time. I wish you a Merry Christmas, you and your family.
Right.
Alan, thank you for the wonderful call. Time for break. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. We're coming right back.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Dominic Carter filling in for James. Folks, you want to keep it right here. Coming up in just minutes on Cats and Cosby, Kevin O'Leary will be appearing with Mr. Hollywood, my big boss, John Catsimatidis. Again, Mr. Catsimatidis in the movie Marty Supreme. It was so great to be there at the theater, and on the big screen, the Hollywood screen, he appears playing the father, and then he's back again later in the movie playing a chastising father. That's all I'll say, but it's great. But again, folks, coming up in just minutes, Kevin O'Leary will join Cats and Cosby. Line 2, Liz in Florida. What's on your mind, Liz?
Hi, Dominic. I'm still in Long Island. Hi. It is so sad. Unfortunately, there's no state in America that's exempt from crime or murder. There's hatred and theft, but we need to teach kindness again. You know, every time I see a police officer, I stop and I thank them for their service, and they're like taken aback because how many people do that? But we have to be aware today of people surrounding us everywhere we go now. I want to tell you this story. When I was younger in the late 70s, I was living in Florida, and I had a friend stay with me for a while, and she was from New York City. And we were walking in Miami Beach, and she kept turning her head, looking behind her. And I asked her, what are you doing? What are you looking for? She said, it's habit. You never know who's behind you. And back then in the late 70s, I guess crime was rampant. And now, unfortunately, I think we have to just really be aware of our surroundings.
Absolutely. I think your friend was a visionary, because that's what's required. I do the same thing. If, you know, and I no offense, Liz, I feel bad for you women. I mean, men can be murdered as well, but all of us become prey, you know, for these individuals. And have you changed anything you do, Liz, when you're out in public, or you still do the same things exactly the same way?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I still feel safe in Aventura, but I will not go into New York City after January 1st. I absolutely will not. So that's a big change for me. And listen, Mom Donnie, I wanted to say, is complete evil. His wife as well. His agenda is the same. You know, anti-Israel equals anti-Semitic.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing else to talk about.
Absolutely.
Wait, Dominic, what are your plans for the holiday? Are you working the entire time?
I'm working. My daughter, when I get home, Liz, my daughter and my grandkids will be there, and they'll be at the Knick game, cheering on the Knicks, and I'll be with you folks where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I was asked if I wanted the day off, and I said no, because I don't want the day off. So I'll be with you folks live at 3 and live at midnight.
You're so wonderful. I wish you a joyful, healthy, peaceful, and restful holiday. You need to get some rest and enjoy your family. And thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. Hey, and you didn't start about my diet. So
I didn't.
What's up with
I'm not going to.
You're not going to?
No, I'm not going to.
Oh, boy.
I know that you're thinking about it every time I call you. And I'm sure you're thinking about me all the time, that you take a bite of something you shouldn't be biting.
Thank you, Liz, for the wonderful call. Happy holidays. Quickly, Patricia, Rocky Point, line 5. Patricia, you got 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Good. My in-laws barely escaped the Holocaust. And years ago, they're now deceased, I asked my mother-in-law, do you think that could happen here? She didn't skip a beat. She said, absolutely. I thought she was crazy. Okay.
Well,
now
that was your mother-in-law?
Yes, it was.
Well, your mother-in-law sounds like a visionary, unfortunately, as well, because Mom Donnie will be the mayor of New York City in 1 week. Thank you, Patricia. I'm back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.